Guys, when a knife company you like lets you down a little bit, it's a lot like having a scheduled field trip at school only to find out that it's to the sewage treatment plant. So let's take a look at one of the few CJRB knives that has disappointed me. All right, guys, we're going to talk about something quick. This is a knife that I'm a little bit disappointed with, and it's the PRADO by CJRB Knives. Now, it's not so much that I'm disappointed in it's a knife company that I like, and it's a designer I like, and I'm not completely disappointed with everything, but there's some stuff about it. Let's get this box out of the way, and I'll show you what we're talking about here. So this is the PRADO. It's a Laconico design. I love Ray's designs. And as far as the design goes, and as far as the actual knife itself, minus the issues I have with it, the design is great. The feel in hand is great. It is a beautiful blade shape, nice flat with a good bit of belly, if that's what you're looking for. Came razor sharp. And it's in AR RPM 9, which is a steel I like, even though there has been some controversy about it. Still a really good steel. That has nothing to do with what I don't like about the knife. It's done in an axis lock, so it's ambidextrous. They've given you a reversible pocket clip. It's done in G10 with steel liners, and they have done a massive amount of weight reduction in the steel liners. So you have a very stable knife that does not have a lot of additional weight. Action on it, relatively smooth. It's snappy. You have a reverse flick aperture. You have got this, I think this is, I do believe this is the first of the CJRB knives I've seen with an axis lock. You can treat it just like every other axis lock. Like I said, in hand, feels really, really good in hand. It's not a knife that rolls out of the cut. It's nice and thin, but does fill your hand really well. Another thing about it, the pocket clip, while I said like it's reversible, on top of that, it's a very comfortable pocket clip, and it sits nice and deep in your pocket. So if you want to carry this in the forward part of your pocket towards the fly, towards the zipper, you've got it. And they have given you a lanyard post without making a big ugly lanyard hole. This standard CJRB pocket clip is a very, very good pocket clip, and this is a beyond deep. This is like I like to call these a beyond zero carry pocket clip because it's actually lower than your pocket. So this sits really, really deep in the pocket. The G10 has been textured and done really, really well. It's grippy without being aggressively grippy. And then when you get into how it came sharpened, the grind on it is done really well. And it came extremely sharp, as almost every CJRB knife I've ever had has come. And it's got all these facets, which makes it an attractive knife. And like I said, with the weight reduction, nice tip heavy, which is what I'm looking for in a knife. But with all that being said, I am kind of disappointed in the overall knife itself, because the next things I'm about to mention mean that this is really a knife that I'm not 100% sure that I like. So let's go ahead, flip this around, flip side of the knife, flip side of the story, and we'll look at the bad stuff. So like I said, I believe this is the first knife that I've had from CJRB with an axis lock. I'm pretty sure of it. CJRB and Artisan, I've never had an axis lock from them. And while the axis lock itself is done well, I have a couple problems with it itself. This has got the typical shepherd's hook spring system that's in it. And if you look, the spring on that, I would have much rather had that spring come a little further around and not be sticking up like that. I'm afraid that that could slip. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want that to be a little bit more secure, come down further around this. Maybe I'm just seeing something in it that I'm saying, but it doesn't look like it's crimped down onto that post. The next thing is the post itself. They're very low profile, which means that they're not going to catch on your pockets, but they are also relatively sharp. And I mean, I've got tough, of course, you can see my thumbs are all calloused and everything. That's sharp. Like, I can acknowledge that's sharp. It's kind of like when you do it that way, it's uncomfortably sharp. Now, what I may do is I may take this apart and take this post and throw it in to tumble in some stonewash medium to knock those edges off of that. But you can see, let me zoom in and show you what I'm talking about. Those are very hard edges, and they really do catch on your finger. You can definitely feel it when you're opening and closing the knife. Next thing, and this is what really kind of disappoints me. Such a beautiful, great knife. If this had thumb studs, I think that this would have mitigated a lot of the problems I'm referring to in this next one. And for some reason, its focus isn't working. Hang on. There we go. Jump cut, like Joe Biden. 15-second video, 5 jump cuts. Can't believe that. Sorry, I don't talk politics very often, but I had to. The aperture just isn't what I want on this because it's so close. So you see what I'm saying? So when I have to get in on it, I'm so far in that either I miss it or then I'm on the axis lock and I can't deploy the knife. I have to slow roll it out, which I don't mind per se, but I'm going to tell you that gets annoying because reverse flick is my favorite deployment method. Now I can do it, but I have to get myself in I have to get well, I say I can, but maybe I can't. Not optimal. You know what I'm saying? It's not optimal for that to be where it's at. Like that's where my finger is going to go for the reverse flick. It's just almost impossible to do it. Next thing, it didn't come centered. And I know it's a budget knife, but that's one of the things that I really would be looking for. Now, I may take it apart and see. There is no blade play in this, but I may just try to tighten the pivot from side to side. It is double-sided pivot. I can do that. I might be able to walk that to center, but this did not come from CJRB. This came from a paying member. Winston Cobretti sent this along. That means that he purchased this. This is how this knife left the line. It's not a grind issue, but it definitely is not 100% centered. And then there's just the next factor, which is it's got some rattle to it. Pocket clip rattles. It rattles. For as much as I like the fact that it is a little bit tip heavy, tip forward, it just feels a little lighter than I really want it. It kind of feels cheap. And I know it's a budget knife, and I'm not saying it is cheap, but there are some knives that you get and they just feel cheap when you get them. And so there's just a lot of things at play here on this one. And as much as I like, it's not too aggressive, but if you don't want something that's going to drag in and out of a pair of thicker pants, like if you wear 511s, the pocket clip tension is pretty tight. And then you've got this, textured G10 can make it a little bit more difficult to get in and out of thicker pants, like a set of 511s that have that reinforced pocket. But like I said, as far as the blade shape, the knife shape, the overall design, I do love the design, and I am going to carry it. I'm going to cut with, oh, last thing, forgot to mention, this happens a lot with CJRB knives, but I typically see it in their stonewash knives, not in their ones that are satin. That jimping is so soft, it shouldn't even be there. Like there's just no actual traction on that jimping. If you're gonna put jimping on a knife, it needs to be functional. I don't like jimping as, say, a flourish or an aesthetic thing. I really don't like the idea that that's there, but it's so soft. And if you zoom in, you can see what I'm talking about. They're just all rounded over. There's no sharp edges on that to give you the traction you would want. Even in gloves, that's not going to help you. And then I think that this is going to be problematic when I sharpen it. I think that you can see right here, the plunge comes up. This should have come up just a little bit further because you can see that line on that plunge grind where it comes in, where that transition is. You're going to get a smile on that. But with all that being said, I do like the design, and it's another beautiful Ray Laconico design. I just think I wish it had been executed a little bit differently. So is it a yup or a nah? For me right now, it's a nah for me, but it's still a really good knife. I'm going to see if they have other versions of this. I may take some of the massive amounts of money I make here on YouTube and purchase a different version of this, and we will see. So guys, that's it on this one. Let's turn this around. We'll do some final thoughts. I'll send you out about your day. So yeah, guys, overall the design is good, and I may go ahead and purchase some of those screw-on thumb studs and see if that improves this knife for me. I think some of it might have to do with hand size, but a lot of it is aperture placement, lock placement, and then just lack of refinement on some of the hardware. And like I said, once again, I do know it's a budget knife, but there's sometimes that you just got to kind of like call things out for what you see, they're not going to get a pass on this one. So it is a very good design. And like I said, I may see if there's another version of this and purchase it myself and compare the two. So we shall see. Guys, that's it on this one. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, drop a comment. Check out my sponsors down below. There's discounts built into their links. Saves you 10%. Coffee Brand Coffee Tempered Trail. Also have coupon code crazysharp, 40% off at Beyond EDC Knives, 10% off Fair & Forged Knife Works, 10% off at Rosecraft Blades, and 10% off at KATSU Knives. And once again, that is crazysharp, all one word. If you're going to buy stuff, I have affiliate links for almost all of the major knife vendors down below. I also have got an Amazon store. Take those links, pin them to your browser, use them for any of the Amazon shopping you're going to do. I've got a membership down below. Take that link, follow that link, or it says join the, no, I'm sorry, it says, it's just the membership link. I do exclusive content, giveaways, premium tier sharpening tutorial series, and there's a private Discord. I've also built a Discord, but I'm gonna have to redo the link for it. So if you guys have tried to join the public Discord, I apologize if it hasn't been working. Guys, that's it on this one. I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. I'll see you in the next video.